What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another daily news show where we're going to talk about Koopmeiners. Koopmeiners being or will be a key player for this Juve side. I know a lot has been said. It's very early on the season, but everybody has an opinion, and it starts with the price tag. And I think that is already the issue when you try to talk about a player in general. In my opinion, I think price tags are something you need to debate, or if you want to debate price tags, you need to talk about that with the club in context rather than actually the player. But we're going to talk about Koopmeiners because a lot of people are skeptical about him, and the start of the season is maybe not what everybody expected, despite that PSV game being actually excellent in my opinion. However, I will talk to you why, or I will speak to you why I think it will be a key player, and then you will let me know in the comments if you agree or completely disagree with my opinion regarding Koopmeiners. Before we do that, as always, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification. Also tune in later tonight for a preview because we do play Napoli. But let's talk about Koopmeiners right now. Okay, so Koopmeiners, the one of the biggest sagas I think we all witness in this transfer window, or of any transfer window. You know, it was just insane. You know, it took a while, and actually it's key to this conversation because he came in 3 days, 4 days before that Roma game. I actually met him in Torino when I was at the game. You know, he was walking in city center, so that's how new he was at the club. And he didn't really play a good game when he came on halftime. You know, shy, confused, so on. Empoli, kind of the same as everybody in that team, a bit anonymous. You know, not really decisive, so on, so on, and everybody knows it. Just plays against PSV. I thought he was very, very good. You know, the potential chances he created, you know, dominating his opponents, and you can say it's PVC, PSV, but it was just Empoli, you can say as well. Sitting deep or not, it was anonymous. When it against PSV, in my opinion, it was dominant. You know, at times. But why I think he will be a key player is that you didn't need to listen to Koopmeiners coming out saying, you know what, I'm not 100% fit. I think everybody literally knows that he's not 100% fit, and actually it's impossible that he's 100% fit. He didn't had a preseason basically, or he was injured, you know, came back to Atalanta, maybe had a week or two of potential training, not even full training because he came back from that injury. And then he went on strike basically because Atalanta didn't give him what he was promised. So it's impossible that he can be up to speed to everybody. And with everybody, I mean at our club, who came in from the first day of preseason, and actually also opponent. No matter the opponent, fitness level has nothing to do with you playing Venezia or going over the top Inter. If a player has more fitness level than you, it's just going to show at the end of the day. You know, he's going to be more involved throughout 90 minutes than you, because at one point your engine stops and you're just not going to be involved. You're not going to be seen whatsoever, you know. And against PSV, I thought he really picked that up at times. You know, you can see his bursts, you can see his runs, you can see that he can win the ball back, you can see his ability to pass, see things, and I thought it was very good. And I was watching that and I was like, man, if he's 100% fit, like actually fit, he can be, and he will be, in my opinion, a very good player. Because we can discuss the price tag, and I think it's too much. I've always said it. But man, he's one of the best players in Serie A, midfielders, period. And you can say, oh, I don't like his style of play, it's not special. He still is one of the best players in my, like, consistent wise, 100%. 100%, you know? And the way we play and the way his position is as well, or his position should be against PSV, kind of, especially in that first half, went to the left a lot so Yildiz can cut inside. That worked, you know, for both players, by the way, you know, because he had some good potential chances he created, had a chance, Yildiz got a goal, so it all worked out. It still needs to be fine-tuned because maybe at the beginning it was a bit confusing between Yildiz and Koopmeiners, and none of these two players actually got the best out of their own potential abilities, and then it all picked up. It's gonna need time for everybody to adjust, but right now, I think it's way too soon, because after the Empoli game, I already saw comments in the media saying, "Oh my God, we spent 140 million on that midfield and we wasted that." And that included all the players, Douglas Luiz, who doesn't look up to speed right now. And right now, I don't think Mota fully trusts him, to start games. It's obvious, which is not completely shocking fitness-wise, but he needs to step it up, period. That fitness-wise is cool, but with Douglas Luiz, he's a player who has more abilities than he's showing right now. I think it's more about daring to do stuff and being yourself right now rather than actually fitness for him. But I think it's, again, Empoli, reactionary about Yildiz. Oh, he's not good enough. He starts on the bench. Why the number 10? He's too young, blah, blah, blah. With Koopmeiners, 60 million. And it was it was the first game he started for the club after having no preseason. So we all need to stay calm. And you can go into the Koopmeiners debate saying, I don't like him as a player, period. And I'm like, perfectly fine. I see your point. I see why you don't like a player. And I'm not here to say that you're wrong. I can say that I believe my opinion about Koopmeiners is stronger because I really believe in him. However, as a player, I don't think you really can debate him. Again, if you want something different, if you want, I don't know, a very techy midfielder, a very silky midfielder, a midfielder you look at and you're like, oh my God, that's a player I just can fall in love with. I can see why nobody's thinking that about Koopmeiners, because he's not a silky player. He's good technically and so on, but it's not, oh my God, what a type of talent, like pure talent on the ball, whatever, and he's not that. And I get it, and people are frustrated with the price tag, but in that bubble, where we talk about that, taking it in a vacuum, I think everybody kind of dismiss what he's good at and what he has done at Atalanta, and actually what he showed at PSV with limited, I think, potential in terms of fitness-wise. I think people just brush that aside because they have a vision of their ideal midfielder, which is good and fair, by the way. Everybody had, like, McKennie play well. I don't like a player like McKennie. On a technical level, I cannot watch that, But that doesn't mean he didn't play a good game with his abilities. Same for Koopmeiners. I think when you talk about that, people are like, they have a vision of a midfielder they want and the price tag linked to that, and then they get Koopmeiners and they forget actually everything he's actually good at, because they're like, oh, it's not worth the 60 million. It's too much, which I agree. However, you cannot dismiss that he's actually good at many things, Price tag or no price tag, he's still good at those things. If we pay 5 million euros or 60 million euros, his dominance he had in Serie A is still there. That's not going to go away with the price tag. It's not going to go, it's not going to be better if you paid less, it's just going to stay the same. And we just need to wait, because I think he will be a key player purely because of his abilities and his impact on midfields he faces, and the position, and Thiago Motta as well. So I think he will be a key player. It's just a matter of time when he actually is fully up to the fitness level and the team is actually fully functioning in terms of, okay, this is actually everybody's task and this is what is expected us. Because after the game, he said it himself, and Motta, we need to start dominating games more. We cannot just allow PSV, for example, to run at us, even if they weren't really dangerous. At one point, you're going to play a better team and they are going to be dangerous, and it's going to be much more difficult. So it all goes into the way of everybody needs to improve all together, from fitness level to automatism, and become a potential machine where you're like, okay, this is things they do basically and they dream about it. That's why it's so silky. That is why it's so good. That is why it feels also automatic. And I think it's going to need time for everybody, and we need to be a bit patient, because it's not going to come from now. You wake up against Napoli and it's like champagne, or champagne where it's like, it's flawless, it's impeccable, there are no mistakes whatsoever. It's gonna need some time, so I believe he will be a key player. Many are still very skeptical about it, and I get it. So let me know in the comments why you're potentially skeptical, or why you're on my side and you actually believe he will be a key player. Subscribe, and I will speak to you later tonight for a preview for the Napoli game. Thanks for watching.